Hello and welcome, bookworms, and a late Merry Christmas, because this one I believe goes out on Boxing Day. So I hope you guys all had a great Christmas yesterday. And I hope you had it surrounded by family and friends, or just a nice chill day with yourself with loads of food or not food, however you want to celebrate it. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you still had a nice festive period. So we're looking at Midnight in Everwood. So this is this year's sort of Christmas themed book. So this is a retelling of the Nutcracker, and obviously you know I've done the Nutcracker in previous years. So essentially you've got Marietta. She longs to be a ballerina, but it's in Nottingham in 1906. So obviously her prospects are she needs to be married off to someone. Essentially, that's what needs to happen. So, but she wants to be a ballerina, and then Dr. Drosselmeyer comes in and wants to marry her. However, he's not a very nice guy. He's not. So then she ends up escaping into the Nutcracker landscape as we know it, and essentially the tales continue in there. And I will say it's a little bit sort of like sugary and syrupy in the women all band together, and like she learns what her inner strength is, and she decides that she is going to go and be a ballerina regardless, and all of that, which I think is really, really sweet. But it is just a case of, I think at times it felt a little bit forced. And I was just sort of like, I liked the ending. I liked how she found her inner strength. I like all of that, but it just, I don't know. It was a good retelling, and I did quite enjoy it. There was just something about it that I just kind of was rolling my eyes at. And I don't know how to describe it. I know I run a channel describing books, but it's one of those where it's like, where it's just like, oh yeah, and then they fell in love, and you're like, of course they did, because that's the trope, or that's it. That's what really annoys me. So when you get romance books or rom-coms or something, and there's the miscommunication trope, and that bothers me greatly, and I always roll my eyes at it because it's put in there to move the story along, but in actuality it doesn't add anything to the story. There were points at this where I was like, they're putting it in to show she has a backbone, they're putting it in to show this, but what's the point of this part of the story? It didn't happen often, but it happened occasionally. But overall, the book was good. Marietta was lovely. I liked the way that they described ballet. I liked the way they described sort of like that dancing was whenever they described her dancing and the way that she just kind of went off into her own world. I loved that. I loved the idea of, she was dancing, but not for anybody but herself. And then when she ends up having to dance for somebody else, that's when she starts making mistakes. And it felt really good, and I really enjoyed reading that bit. And it is a satisfying conclusion. And I do quite like what happens to Marietta as well. Like she's, she gets exactly what she deserves at the end of it. And she makes her own decisions. And as a woman in the early 1900s, because I was late 1900s, but yeah, as a woman in the early 1900s, that you know how much that, like how hard it is for women, because if you're seen as, you could be put into a sanatorium for no reason whatsoever, but luckily they didn't do that, thank God. But yeah, so Midnight in Everwood, I would say definitely give this a go. Paperback, hardback, Kindle, library, however you want to do it. But thank you so much for your continued support. Again, happy holidays, and remember to always keep it contented.